Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Online. Yes, I'm talking to you in English, because today we are going to make a little experiment. I want to do this for a very long time, and today is the day. Now I want to put a big disclaimer at the beginning. This is going to be like a one-time event. All the upcoming episodes will obviously be in German, but today, I don't know. While I was on the way home just an hour ago, I just spontaneously got this idea. Why not make an episode in English? Now the question is, of course, why would I do that? Why would I do that? Because, well, it's pretty simple. I want to practice. I want to practice my pronunciation. Now, I already hear some of you say, hey, it's not that bad. And I'm like, no, it's really not that bad. I know a lot of people who have, whose pronunciation is way worse. And also, I don't really have any problems with, coming up with sentences and words as I go. But I thought, hey, commentating a video in English, that's quite a challenge, right? Because, I don't know, if you're a YouTuber yourself or a Let's Player, then you know that it really takes a lot of concentration to commentate your gameplay and still play, well, at least decently, which I am not doing right now. But talking in another language is even harder because you kind of have to concentrate on the other language. Obviously, I'm not a native English speaker, who would have guessed? So this is kind of why I wanted to do this. So it's just going to be a little experiment for today. Let's just see how it goes. I could talk a little bit about my day. I could just do that, okay? So maybe about some things that happened today. Today, actually, something interesting happened. At least it was interesting to me. I went to the barber shop. Is that what you call it? Barber shop? I think, where they cut your hair and, for the first time here in Bielefeld. It's been over a month, I think almost 6 weeks, since I last got my hair cut by someone. So it was just time, right? And what? Oh, I hate this netcode. It sucks. What? Okay. And I asked my flatmate, where do you go when you want, to find like a barbershop? I think barbershop is actually the word for that. And he said, yeah, just go to the Jahnplatz and then look for this and that barbershop. And at first I didn't really find it, but finally I found it. And it's actually the reason why I'm even talking about this. I mean, barbershop isn't anything special, right? Well, in this case, it kind of was. This barbershop was run by I'd say Turkish man, probably. And as it turns out, Turkish barbershops are a little bit different. For example, right at the beginning, this guy asked me, hey, do you want me to cut your hair with a knife? And I was like, no thank you. I'm not sure if he actually understood what I said, because in the end he used a knife to cut my hair, like in the back. Which looks decent. Actually, it looks really good. But honestly, when he said something about a knife, I was like, nope. And another thing was his voice was very quiet. He had a very quiet voice. It was kind of hard to understand what he was saying sometimes. But in the end, it all worked out. It was a pretty cheap haircut. But it looks good, at least good enough for me. I mean, I'm a student, so who cares? But the best thing about all of this was I didn't have to make any form of appointment. I was just able to go there. They had a seat available and they told me, hey, sit down and we'll just do whatever you want. Tell us how you want your hair to be cut and we'll do it. And it worked out really well, so that's a plus. I might give them a little rating on Google, maybe. But as it seems, they are already kind of popular. So they've got pretty great ratings on Google, so that means something. So this is probably the barbershop that I will go to, well, from now on, of course. Another thing that happened today, while I was waiting for the streetcar, or in this case it was the subway. You know, parts of the Bielefeld streetcar are underground, and at that point it's called a subway, with, you know, subway stations and stuff. While I was waiting for the streetcar, Nintendo tweeted that a Smash Bros. Direct would be broadcasted this Thursday, starting at 3 p.m. and I will stream this. Now, of course, I think that's tomorrow, right? When this video goes live, I think it's tomorrow. So yeah, make sure to maybe check out the stream. Maybe it's going to be a little collaboration with Benny. We'll see. And I'm really excited for that. So I mean, I honestly don't really have any wishes left for Smash Bros. Other than, well, story mode, which I don't think we'll get. I honestly don't expect it, so if it doesn't happen, I'm not disappointed. I'm not sad by any means. Sakurai and his team have worked so hard for this, and I think they can just take some rest. And they deserve it. So there's actually not a single character that I really want to see, or a character that I would be, you know, sad when he or she does not appear in the game. I've heard some interesting suggestions. You know, the regular guys like Banjo and Kazooie, for example, or Shadow the Hedgehog, and I'd be happy if they actually make the cut. But if they don't, I don't really mind it. I think the game is almost perfect. If they include a story mode in this that is at least somewhat like the Subspace Emissary in Brawl, then this game is just a 10 out of 10. Like, I am beyond excited, and it's just about a month until it finally releases. So that's awesome. That's really awesome. It's also going to be my first ever reaction stream. It's not going to be my first ever reaction. We reacted to the Switch trailer, the initial one from 2016. There's a reaction video actually on the channel. It's not a great reaction video. I mean, I was really excited, and if you watch a video, my excitement in this video is real. It is not staged, it's not played, I was not acting. It was real excitement. Because, you know, we've waited like, what, 1.5 years? You know, from Nintendo says the first thing about the NX to Nintendo finally releases some form of trailer, some form of information after, well, yeah, 18 months of rumors and talks and all that stuff. So I'm really interested in how this reaction stream is going to go. I mean, that's a I mean, that's a whole different story, right? Doing it live? I don't know, but it's at 3 p.m, so I can freak out. I can freak out if I want. There's no one that I would wake up. Like, if it just were to happen in the middle of the night, I would kind of have to be a little bit quiet, but at 3 p.m, most of the guys here in this building will be, well, yeah, awake. I mean, it's a holiday in North Rhine-Westphalia, so this is the only reason why I can even do this stream. Otherwise, I'd have to be at the university at 4 p.m, which would make the stream a little bit difficult, because it's going to be roughly 40 minutes long. So, yeah, that's going to be really interesting. Looking forward to that. Other than that, anything else that has happened? Well, woo! I realized something today. On the train. You see, there are two different types of stops, of train stops, or streetcar stations, I should say. And some of them are elevated, so, you know, you have to go up a little staircase and then you end up on a platform. And then the door of the streetcar fits perfectly, right next to the platform, so you can just step into the to the streetcar. And then other stations are not elevated, and you have to walk up the stairs of the streetcar. So some platforms get activated, and then a little staircase appears, and you can take the steps and step into the streetcar. Now, this is of course a little bit difficult for people with disabilities or elderly people, and there's something interesting about this. When I drive to the university, or when I take the train, I should say, I always come by a hospital. And that hospital, I am not going to take this track. It will just take too much of my concentration away. That hospital. So in a hospital, naturally, there are people who may not be very, well, let's just say, healthy at the moment. Maybe they need some form of wheelchair or some form of, well, now I'm missing a word. You get the point, right? And there are elderly people. Now, what I realized today, after like over a month of living here in Bielefeld, is that train station at the hospital is not elevated. So if you kind of, I don't know, if you sit in a wheelchair and you want to get onto the train, that's impossible. It's impossible. First, because, well, you would have to somehow climb up like half a meter, maybe even more, I don't know. Maybe it's even a meter, I don't even know. To get into the streetcar while being in a wheelchair, and there's also not enough space for you to even fit through the door. If you would somehow get up there, there are bars in the way that, usually, of course, are meant to work as some form of support. If you climb up the stairs, you can just hold on to them to, make sure you don't fall from the stairs. But of course, in that case, if you are in a wheelchair, then things get a little bit difficult because you won't fit through this little passage. So this is just kind of a thing that I noticed today. I don't know if it's really as interesting as I personally think it is, but it's just one of these examples where people obviously didn't really, well, let's just say their brain wasn't that active when they had to make some form of decision. That happens every now and then, where you just notice something and you're like, how did this happen? Like, anyone with a brain would realize that the way this is done is what was that? Is a mistake and should not be done this way. Why is it done this way? No. And this is just one of these instances. All right, I think that pretty much wraps up today's episode. I think I should stop playing. Today, at least from my point of view, on Tuesday, I will also have a little live stream for the Super Nintendo Mini. I'm very excited for that. Also, thank you for watching. Leave a like or a comment, and if you leave a comment, try to write it in English. That would be perfect. Like, you don't have to. You really don't have to. If you're like, nah, I really don't feel like posting an English comment, there is no need, but it will be kind of cool, honestly. Next episode is, of course, going to be in German again. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you in the next one. And yeah, have a nice day. Peace.